Yes. Now we'll talk about how to reverse the termination. If we have already terminated one employee, we can go for reverse the termination if the date is not crossed. I just wanted to view the history of this employee. When I search including terminated relationships, so as per record, if I check this on February 1st, 2024, this employee has got terminated. His inactive status. And when I click on this, I can find that this employee has got terminated. The resignation, the status is inactive status, and already resignation is done. I wanted to go for reverse this termination. Manager can go for reverse the termination. So who is the manager for this employee? Curtis Fiat, right? Curtis Fiat is the manager. Where do we find manager details? No data display. As we have already terminated on February 1st, this employee is no more inactive. That's why there is no question of manager. But generally, if you search when employee is inactive, then you will come to know active date, who is the manager. From 1st February is not a manager, right? So manager last date will be on 31st January 2024. That's the last date. 31st is a working day, last working day for employee. Obviously, that day also manager will be there till that date. Now we can find. Last time what happened, we have searched on 1st February. That's why it was not showing manager details. Right. Now you can log in as a manager. Right now we are in the login with same employee, manager only. So manager can terminate the employee and do the reverse termination. Go to my team. A reverse termination cannot be performed from the admin. It can be performed from my team. Go to my team. So my team comes into the picture only if you add the role called line manager. Only if you add the role called line manager. Okay. Now this employee, first manager will see the termination details. And we go to termination. System is going to show you if already terminated is. Yeah. System is showing termination will be effective from 31st January 2024. Now we wanted to go for reverse. There is a button here, reverse termination. Click this button. Reverse. Manager can reverse this termination if the time is not crossed. So reverse termination. Why are you reversing the termination? You don't have the details here. Reverse termination, no suggestions to display. Reverse termination. We don't have this information. You can modify this. You can go for add this action and action details. Reverse termination details can be added here. For example, let me check. Go to FSM environment. We are not getting this task because you are not in human capital management offerings. We have to go to human capital management offerings. It means we have to go to either compensation management or we have to go for here. Now go to the task action, manage actions here. Search for the task here, actions. Showing that let's open the responsive page, no problem. So what action we are performing now? Reverse termination. Let me check whether it's there here or not. Reverse. Yeah, reverse termination is there. For this action, do we have action reasons or not? That's what I'm checking. Click continue button. We don't have any reason. That's why it was not showing that. I wanted to configure a couple of reasons. First, we have to create reasons. First, we have to create action reasons. Let's come back here and search for the task action reasons. Now go to the task here, action reasons. Let me create a couple of reasons here. Project on-site assignment. That's the code description. Go for submit. I'm just going to have one more reason. Right. So we want to add these two reasons for the action called reverse termination. Let's search the action called reverse termination. Reasons we have already created, just we are going to add. Associate, search for the reason. One is on-site assignment. From which date this is valid? You can set any date, no problem. I'm just trying to add from today, 18th December. You can also restrict this values. Another one is relocation permitted. This value I just wanted to set in future date. You can set the future date also. So if you are performing the transaction on 31st December onwards, it will work. You can restrict this value is only for few countries, and you can also restrict only for a particular role also. The reasons will be populated based on the criteria. So that's done. Now I did two reasons. Let me cross check once. Go back to our transaction. So whatever we do in setup and maintenance, that's what our functional as well as the technical setups. This we call it as an admin or FSM access. When we are working in the project, 90% will be working on the setup and maintenance. From there only we'll go for configure all the implementation, customizations, extensions, everything we'll do it from there. Once we do it, right now we have done one simple setup called populating reverse termination reasons, right? Then come back to this navigator and we are supposed to test it and then deliver to the client. I'm just trying to test it. So if you do not know how to test, obviously you cannot deliver, right? So before we deliver to client, obviously we are supposed to do it testing. So that's why we must know both. So who will do navigator actions? Navigator is actually client job. This is all hiring, employee transfer, reverse transfer, reverse termination, global transfer, terminations, rehiring, update. These all things are done by the HR department, means your client employees, end users or super users. But then why we are doing all this transaction is it's very simple. Once we implement or configure the product to the client, as a functional consultant or technical people, whatever the work means, whatever the setups or configuration or development we have done, we are supposed to test it and then deliver to the client. So that's why we are going to do all this. Now let's go for reverse the termination. Earlier, the value was not there. Right now, it's not coming. So maybe that is the date. Reverse termination. Why we are not getting this value? Just let me log out and log in. Go to my team. We are not getting still. Maybe it takes some time. Reverse termination. It takes some time. Okay, no issue. Let's go for submit. But that's how we will use. Last time we have used actions and action reasons for employee hiring, even for employee termination also, employee reverse termination also, we can find the reasons here. Let's say this employee. If you want to terminate this employee, if termination record is not there, we'll find here. Right. So if it is already terminated, then only we'll get this button here, a reverse button. Now we'll check the status here. Actions, termination. We are submitting your changes for approval. So the reverse termination has processed. The record transaction has been processed. We'll check that record here. Let me go back to transaction console. It's done. Reverse termination has happened. We can view the transaction history from here also. History of this transaction. Who has submitted, who has approved, when it has submitted, all the details we can find. Okay. Now what I'm trying to do is I'm searching the record status on February 1st. Definitely it should be active. February 1st, it should be active. Earlier it was terminated, but we have done the reverse, right? Now click search button. Yes. The record will be active. This is how we can go for reverse the termination. Once we terminate an employee, how we can go for reverse it. So it is effective. It's still active as of February 1st, 2024. Okay. This is the process and transactions. Okay. Thank you. Any